What's up, everybody? Jason from Jason's Exotic Reptiles. Today, we're going head-to-head like the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight. Boa Imperator versus Brazilian Rainbow Boa. Which one's better? I know there's going to be some disagreements in this video. I may disagree myself at times, so this is going to be exciting, but I really need your opinions on this. We're going to rank these guys on 8 different criteria, actually 9 different criteria, because we need to have one that sets itself from the rest. It's going to be size, temperament, enclosure type / size of the enclosure, care and husbandry, feeding, natural beauty, morphs, cost, and ease of breeding or ability to create a new market. All of this combined is going to give us a winner at the end of this video on which one is going to be the best snake for you. The first criteria we're going to rank these against is size. Size is obviously an important factor. When I'm at a show, that's probably the first thing that every parent asks is, how big does the snake get? So boa constrictors or Boa Imperator, a male is going to be about 5 to 7 feet. A female is going to be about 6 to 8 feet. It's a pretty good size, but it's also manageable in terms of length. It's not going to be a Burmese python or reticulated python. Still a good manageable size. The Brazilian Rainbow Boa, on the other hand, is going to be about 5 to 6 feet, males or females. The difference is that a Brazilian Rainbow Boa is going to be much slimmer, thinner, and a Boa Imperator is going to be a really kind of heavy-bodied animal. Totally different snakes, totally different builds. For that reason, I don't know if we can put size in one wins or the other. I think it's subjective, so let's give that one a tie. The next criteria I'm going to rank this on is temperament. This is probably the second most, if not the first most asked question at a reptile show is, what is the temperament like? Very important question if this is your pet. So I have to kind of give this one a little bit of thought. As babies, generally, a Boa Imperator is going to be friendlier. Not always. I have some that will bite as soon as they come out, but generally the Boa Imperator wins this as a baby. As adults, it's somewhat of a tie because both can be awesome animals, and I also have some Brazilian Rainbow Boas that are beautiful as babies. However, for this category, I think we need to give temperament to Boa Imperator because it's just generally a more calm, docile snake. So Boa Imperator is what we're going to give temperament to. We need to remove those other factors. The third requirement we're going to gauge this against, enclosure type / size. So as we just talked about the size of the animal, that translates to enclosure type and size. I think that Brazilian Rainbow Boas generally stay in a smaller enclosure, or you could put them in something that's a little larger and get really elaborate with it. You can go bioactive, you can do different types of cage setups where you have half water, half land. You can do the same thing for a Boa Imperator, but you do need to make sure the cage is much larger. So for this one, I think this is one we have to give to Brazilian Rainbow Boa, is you can get really cool cages in the same amount of space or a much smaller cage for a Brazilian Rainbow Boa. So Brazilian Rainbow Boa wins this category. The fourth criteria we're going to rank these against is care and husbandry. And this one is kind of challenging for me because I don't have an issue with either of them. I think they're both equal. However, for the common keeper, I'm thinking somebody who's maybe more novice, a semi-experienced, someone who hasn't kept either of these. I have to give this category to the Boa Imperator because they are a little bit more forgivable in their care. Brazilian Rainbow Boas do need it a little bit more humid and kind of cooler. So if you overheat them or you let their enclosure dry out, specifically as babies, you can easily kill them. So I have to give the care and husbandry to the Boa Imperator, and that's a check against the Brazilian Rainbow Boa. Fifth criteria is feeding, and this goes into cost as well because feeding and cost are aligned. Feeding is interesting because they both are boas and they both eat really readily. So both of them are awesome feeders right from the start. I actually think I have an easier time getting my baby Brazilian Rainbow Boas eating than I do getting my Boa Imperators eating, at least off frozen thawed. I've never had an issue to date with getting my baby Brazilian Rainbow Boas to eat. But besides the fact, as these animals grow, generally they're eating smaller prey items for the Brazilian Rainbow Boa, which means your cost is less and your food is readily available. As boas grow larger, Boa Imperators that grow larger, you need to figure out a food source for some of these larger rats. The cost of shipping, the ability to get these prey items is more expensive. So for that reason, I have to give this check to the Brazilian Rainbow Boa. The sixth category in this one is natural beauty. Now, I think it's going to be a hard one to disagree, but let me know in the comments. I have to just cut to the chase and give this one to the Brazilian Rainbow Boa. There is really nothing like a normal, natural Brazilian Rainbow Boa. I love my morphs. I have Rainbow Boa morphs. I love my Boa Constrictor, Boa Imperators. I love all of it, but when you go head to head and say, what is the most beautiful natural snake that you could just pick out of the wild, it's really hard to beat the natural beauty of a Brazilian Rainbow Boa. They have incredible iridescence. Their deep reds to deep oranges just shine and show. They have these really pretty white bellies, and it's just hard to beat the natural form of a Brazilian Rainbow Boa. So for that reason, this check has to go to a Brazilian Rainbow Boa. The seventh category is morph, and which one has more or more available morphs. And this one, I think you already know, hands down goes to the Boa Constrictor or Boa Imperator. These guys have tons of different color morphs at all different price ranges, ranging from less than $100 up to tens of thousands of dollars. Brazilian Rainbow Boas have some really cool morphs, and if you guys watch my channel, you know I have them, but they're far and few between, and they're not super available. So right now, morphs have to go to the Boa Imperator. The eighth category is cost, and this is one that kind of goes hand in hand with the morphs, but generally you can get a Boa Imperator for significantly cheaper than a Brazilian Rainbow Boa. Now these prices have fluctuated over the years where Rainbow Boa prices have gone up and down, but based on today, 2024 market, the cost of a Brazilian Rainbow Boa is a lot more money than the cost of a regular Boa Imperator. Now, this doesn't take into account the caging and other things like that, but just the cost of the pure animal itself, no morphs, just the animal, has to go to the Boa Constrictor or Boa Imperator. The ninth category we have here is ease of breeding and ability to break into new markets. Now, I realize that these are actually two totally separate things, so we're going to do 10 categories, which is number 9 is ease of breeding. Both of these are super easy to breed. I am very tempted to give this actually to the Brazilian Rainbow Boa because I've had nothing but an ease and successful breeding attempts from all of my Rainbow Boas. It's been probably one of the easiest things I've ever bred. But at the same time, my Boa Imperators are also very easy to breed. And if you keep them both in the same conditions like I do, the breeding is really similar. So I kind of have to give this check to both of them, they are both easy to breed and readily breed for you. The 10th category here is ability to break into new markets. Now, if you think ball pythons in the early 2000s, it was exciting to figure out what is a pastel and a spider ball python going to look like? Nobody knew. That's where we are today with Brazilian Rainbow Boas. Now, there's also this clique of people who don't think Brazilian Rainbow Boas should ever expand beyond their natural form, and I'm all for that. But there are also going to be people like myself and others who want to see the morph expand from the Brazilian Rainbow Boas. I want to put Brazilian Rainbow Boas in front of more people to show them that they're really not hard to breed, they're really not hard to keep, which is kind of the basis of this video, and they're extremely awesome animals. So for this one, I have to say that the ability to break into new markets with Brazilian Rainbow Boas is hands down the winner, because nobody knows what things are going to look like. We only have a handful of morphs available to us. They're starting to get combined, and there's not a lot of breeders. So the market is not saturated like ball pythons, boas, retics, berms. You can break into these new markets, and you can do it pretty quickly. So create a name for yourself with Brazilian Rainbow Boas. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You decide. You let me know in the comments. Where do we end with this? Do we have a tie? Tom, do we have a tie? We have a tie. Tom doesn't look so happy about it, but we have a tie. Let me know in the comments which one you think is the better animal, the Brazilian Rainbow Boa or the Boa Imperator. Till next video, let's keep it moving. Thanks, guys.